Honored guests. Today's date is November the 9th, 2018 at approximately 9:30 a.m. I'm Walt Valentine, Commission Chair. I'll now call to order the meeting of the Tennessee Private Investigation and Polygraph Commission. Executive Director Cody Vest, please call the roll.
Thank you. Stuart Bain.
Present.
David Brown.
Here.
Larry Flair.
Here. Home phone.
Robin Johnston.
Here.
Rick Jones. Jerry Richards.
Here.
Alan Russo.
Here.
Doug Shanks.
Here.
Walt Valentine.
Here.
Let the record show that Rick Jones is not present, but you do have a quorum.
Thank you. The next item for approval is the agenda. I'd like to ask each commission member if they have received and had time to review the copy of the agenda. And if so, is there a motion to adopt this agenda?
So move.
A second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We'll call the roll. Thank you.
Stuart Bain.
Aye.
David Brown.
Aye.
Larry Flair.
Aye.
Robin Johnston.
Aye.
Jerry Richards.
Aye.
Alan Russo.
Aye.
Doug Shanks.
Aye.
Walt Valentine.
Aye. Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the last Education Committee and Commission meeting. Has each Commission member received and had time to review a copy of these minutes? And if so, is there a motion to adopt these minutes?
I so move that we adopt these amendments. Commissioner Brown.
Second, Commissioner Shanks.
Director Vest, would you call the roll?
Stuart Bain.
Aye.
David Brown.
Aye.
Larry Flair.
Aye.
Robin Johnston.
Aye.
Jerry Richards.
Aye.
Alan Russo.
Aye.
Doug Shanks.
Aye.
Walt Valentine.
Aye. The motion carries. Next on the agenda is the legal report.
I would, if I may, Mr. Chairman, can I interrupt to this? We would like to go ahead and put on our Assistant Commissioner, Carter Lawrence, on the agenda. I know he's very busy, so he was kind enough to come down to us and to address us with some questions that you had from our last meeting.
Thank you. You made.
Well, thanks, commissioners, for letting me come down here. Understand that you had some questions when looking at your budget. Wanted to thank you for the diligence in your maintenance of watching over your licensee dollars, a very important component of your service to the state. And I also wanted to, in front of all of you, thank Cody for how diligently she is also watching and working in order to maintain your statutory the statutory calling of maintaining a healthy fiscal outlook for the board, which I understand has been difficult in light of several factors that I assume that you want to discuss today. So with that said, I'm happy to hear whatever you'd like to say to me and try to answer whatever questions you might have as well.
Commissioner Flair, are you still there with us?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Thank you.
Any of the commission members have a question for Assistant Director Lawrence?
Mr. Bain here. We seem to have seen a record over this past 10, 12 calendar months, perhaps straddling 2 fiscal years, of some dollars or budget being in the red. And we see, if this continues, do we see a negative approach or a view of the continuation of this commission?
Right. So as the commission, I believe, is aware, your accounting cycle for the purposes of the state is a 2-year period. So 2 successive years in the red trigger a sunset hearing in front of the Joint Government Operations Committee at the Tennessee General Assembly. Should such an event occur, it would be up there that the General Assembly would ask why the commission has been in the red for 2 years, a plan for addressing it. They might also take the opportunity to decide whether they wanted to take more drastic changes to the regulation of the industry. So as to your question about what could happen, that could be the ultimate outcome, that there would be 2 consecutive fiscal years in the red, which would trigger that hearing. It is also possible that this year, which is supposed to be one of the positive fiscal years, will in fact turn out to be that way, and you will have 1 year in the black and 1 year in the red over the 2-year accounting period, which would not trigger such a hearing, and the commission would be able to carry on business as usual. To try and meet that goal, you have obviously authorized the meeting of just 4 times per year, which will work to lower your expenses. Cody and I have worked on some other things to try and lower the commission expenses. So, for example, over the years, the number of staff people who work on this program has altered. Cody oversees a large staff, and we have reallocated those staff members so that the program is not getting billed for staff that are not working on this anymore. So just yesterday, had a meeting with fiscal in order to look at what the impact is currently on that, and after that discussion, decided that I want to retroactively apply that from the beginning of this fiscal year forward. So if we were to do that, the monthly payroll costs will drop from about $11,000 per month to roughly $6,000 per month. So if we reallocate that from July, the start of the fiscal year, through September, and leave things as they currently are, payroll costs will be about $72,000 in fiscal year 2019, which is significantly less than the $134,000 that was charged in the previous fiscal year. So all that to say, I think that it is likely that the commission is going to end up in the black for the year. It's not guaranteed, but
For FY19.
That's correct. Yes. So not guaranteed, but I think it's likely.
The question then is being in the red over a 24-month period, or being in the red over a 12-month period, and then being in the red the following sequential 12 months. That would trigger a review.
It's only 2 consecutive
years.
Fiscal year closeouts that are in the red.
Closeouts, okay. Triggering a review does not necessarily mean a decision. It simply means let's figure out what we can do about this.
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
So if that were to happen, you would end up at the Joint Government Operations Committee, in which they would ask, what do you need to do in order to get back into the black? So for some other programs, that has meant reevaluating fees. It has also meant evaluating what is regulated in order to try and get the program back into profitability.
Good. I trust you're familiar with the survey that Ms. Vest undertook, resulting in discovery that Tennessee renewals is among the lowest in the universe of our survey. I think that we do have some options.
Yes, Cody and I have discussed that. Like I mentioned, Cody has been very diligent in monitoring the funds and probing into the why, which, of course, as it was for all of you, was my question as well, as to why revenue has dropped. And Cody was good to be able to dig in to find all of that.
Very good. Thank you. That's a lot of work. And reallocating those resources has been much appreciated. You always do a good job, though.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
I have one other question,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Alton Russo. Our expenditures with Edison, is that prorated on our number of licensees, or is that a flat percentage that we have to pay into Edison monthly?
So your Edison is not as simple as that category is not as simple as it should be. So one of the things that I have been working with fiscal to do is to try and break out that line item so that we're going to see with greater clarity and transparency everything that goes into it. You may be aware of STS, which is our IT. STS is something that happens at a level far above my pay grade, and there are fees that come down to us that we have no flexibility of covering. It's just something that we have to do, and part of that is in Edison. Something else that is in Edison would be the rent that the commission has to pay. Another thing that is currently inflexible, although I will, just as a foretaste of things to come, Cody has likely told you about the AWS initiative, which is in which employees work from home 3 days a week. We are probably over a year into that program, and just now starting the second phase, which is a real estate reallocation. So our division, which was currently spread out over 2 floors, is about on half of a floor now, and the entire department is going through a renovation of the building. And when that happens, we're going to be able to lower our rent pretty substantially. We don't have final numbers as to what that's going to be. But I mentioned that just as something that's coming, but that is also in the category of Edison. And that's something that I am unable to impact. Cody is similarly unable to impact. So to your broader question about Edison, it's not as transparent as it should be. I'm working to make that happen. We are trying to control all of the expenses that we can within it. But I admit it is not perfect right now, and we're trying to move that direction.
Is there, Cody? Are there any months or portions of the fiscal year that are bringing in more dollars, more renewals in a period of time, or per quarter, for example?
Without looking at the figures, I'm going to tell you yes. There's probably more people renewing at the first of the year, February, March, April.
I see.
So I have that historical data in front of me
Okay.
that I don't think Cody has in front of her. So the relevant year to look at would be fiscal year 17. So we're looking back at an odd fiscal year as to compare it against fiscal year 19. And there are some months that show significantly higher revenue than other months. So, for example, October of 17 was very high, as was January. There are a couple of really high months that historically have been high, and that's something we will be watching very closely throughout this year to see if, because we are in a fiscal year that should be higher, whether those high months from fiscal year 17 will match with 19 as well, which will give a pretty good indication of where we're going to close out the year.
Good.
Any other questions for? If not, go ahead, Cody.
Commissioner Flair,
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
do you have any questions?
No, ma'am. No, I'm fine. Thank you.
All right,
I
thank
appreciate his time.
Thank you.
Well, thank you,
Carl
Commissioners.
Lawrence, for coming down and talking with us, and we certainly hope that the commission is able to continue,
Certainly.
and we appreciate your efforts in that effort.
Thank you very much. Hope everyone has a good rest of your day and stay dry and warm on the way home. Good seeing everyone.
Thank you.
Cody. Appreciate it.
Next on the agenda would be the legal report by our staff attorney.
Morning.
Morning.
Number 1 is 2018-068-071. The complainant contracted with respondent for investigation services in the amount of $1,500. Complainant alleges respondent did not provide proof of surveillance, pictures, reports, or any documents to use in court. Complainant demanded a refund and respondent refused and said he was working on finishing touches of his report. Complainant eventually hired another private investigation company and received the requested report, pictures, etc. Respondent apparently had known the complainant for a long time and did work on the surveillance. However, respondent became ill with an infection and could not perform his investigation for some time. Respondent eventually refunded the complainant the full retainer fee. Complainant has since claimed that the refund has resolved her issue with the respondent. Recommendation is to close.
I'll move, Mr. Chairman, that we accept the recommendation.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Director Vest, would you call the roll?
Stuart Bain,
Aye.
David Brown,
Aye.
Larry Flair,
Aye.
Robin Johnston,
Aye.
Jerry Richards,
Aye.
Alan Russo,
Aye.
Walt Valentine,
Aye.
Doug Shanks.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Motion carries.
Number 2 is 2018-068-151. It's the same summary as previously mentioned in complaint 2018-068-071. However, it's against the company respondent. And the recommendation is to close.
I move we accept council's recommendation. Commissioner Brown.
I second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Director Vest, would you call the roll?
Stuart Bain,
Aye.
David Brown,
Aye.
Larry Flair, Larry,
Yes, aye.
Robin Johnston,
Aye.
Jerry Richards,
Aye.
Alan Russo,
Aye.
Doug Shanks,
Aye.
Walt Valentine.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Motion carries.
That concludes the legal report.
Thank you for legal report.
Welcome.
Next would be appearances. Do we have anyone wanting to appear before the commission?
Oh, sir, I don't have any appearances.
Next item would be the administrative matters. Executive Director Cody Vest.
Yes, sir. Just a moment, please. Mr. Flair, did you get all that material that was sent to you about the board meeting? Hello?
I did, ma'am. Did you copy, Ms. Cody? I got it.
Yes, sir. I thank you very much. We'll take a look at the monthly report. Really wasn't that much to report. We had the 2 complaints last time. We have 2 complaints this time. And I believe we just have maybe 1 outstanding in litigation. Look over this. I still have the monthly meetings with Attorney Thompson. We've been gentleman that came to you last time we met that did the presentation. He is still working on meeting, whether it be January or March. I'll have some more information. Retroactive. When he says that, he meant to go back to July, the 1st of the new fiscal year, not back to January.
That'll be a big improvement, though, from what he indicated, won't it?
Like maybe 4,000,
Yeah.
40,000, wasn't it? No, it was
4,000 difference, isn't it?
It was 40,000.
Yeah.
That's just gonna. We will continue doing our diligence best we can in our office with the staff that we will be given to work on the program. That's all I had under monthly meetings. If no one had a question on this.
Next would be the education report. Executive Director Cody Vest.
Well, we did have the Education Committee meeting this morning. We looked at the courses. If you would, Mr. Chairman, call out the course names. And I believe everyone voted in favor, but we'll need a vote by the whole commission.
Okay. Would you then call the roll?
Actually, that first one of the set of training programs we looked at, we didn't have enough information. That one was on tape. That one was to be tabled.
Yes, sir. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the one we were talking about for Jennifer Bible.
Right.
We said we were going to hold it, try to get some more and bring it back to you at the next commission meeting.
Right. And the other courses were the Hetherington group, Search Researchers Follow Dark Web Undercover, and Ethics Online. And the other provider was AISS, Advanced Investigative and Screening Solutions, the online prosecutor basic surveillance course for 16 hours. Matthew Tyler course on crash reconstruction was approved, and Director Vest is going to request a little more information from him. Was there one other?
There was one other one we had.
Jack Fay.
Jack Fay. Jack Fay was approved.
I might help you there. We were going to. The course was approved last year. It approved this year. We took a look at it. I believe you did, and we want to remove the civil process from the. It's from the learning shop. Arson course. It had 20 hours. We're going to change that to
8 to 6.
8 to 6.
That was the Education Committee meeting this morning. Do I have a motion to approve the education report?
Motion to approve.
Second by Doug Shanks.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Director Vest, would you call the roll?
Stuart Bain,
Aye.
David Brown,
Aye.
Larry Flair,
Aye.
Robert Johnston,
Aye.
Jerry Richards,
Aye.
Alan Russo,
Aye.
excuse me, Doug Shanks,
Aye.
Walt Valentine.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
The motion carried. Do we have any unfinished business?
I don't have any.
Okay, do we have any new business?
Yes, sir. We sent out to everyone. Hopefully everyone got this. I didn't get that big a response on it, but we changed our meeting dates for the next year. Or actually told you the meeting dates are going to be January the 10th, April the 4th, July the 18th, and October the 10th. October the 10th, all of 2019. And they've all been removed from a Friday to a Thursday. And the room will be changing. We will be in a smaller room. All the rooms are already booked up when we made this change from Friday to Thursday, but we were able to get the smaller room. Still will accomplish
Where is that?
4. Where the alarm board always meets. But it's still the U-shaped room. I need a motion to accept these dates.
Make a motion we accept these dates. Commissioner Brown.
Second, Alan Russo.
Been moved and seconded that we approve these dates of the next meetings. Any discussion? Director Vest, would you call the roll?
Stuart Bain,
Aye.
David Brown,
Aye.
Larry Flair,
Aye.
Robin Johnston,
Aye.
Jerry Richards,
Aye.
Alan Russo,
Aye.
Doug Shanks,
Aye.
Walt Valentine.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
The next on the agenda is the Continuing Education Participation Forum. Do we have anyone appearing for that?
Oh, sir, I don't have anyone.
That concludes our business as we have it scheduled. Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
Motion to
Larry Claire makes that motion, Chairman.
Doug Shanks seconds.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
carries. We are adjourned.
No, I have to
No,
roll
you're not.
call.
You have to.
Do the roll call to adjourn.
Okay.
Stuart Bain, David Brown,
Aye.
Larry Flair,
Aye.
Robin Johnson,
Aye.
Jerry Richards,
Aye.
Alan Russo,
Aye.
Doug Shanks,
Aye.
Walt Valentine.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
We are adjourned.
Okay.